Good morning, my dear students in grade 9. How are you today? I hope you are fine. Today is Tuesday, the 7th of September 2021.
رؤية المدرسة إعداد فتيات متعلمات مبدعات قادرات على بناء مجتمع واع متحضر محافظة على أخلاقه وقيمه ومستخدمة للتكنولوجيا الحديثة.
The school vision, to prepare creative, well-educated students who are able to establish civilized, aware, reserved society, stick to the authentic morals and values, in addition to using the modern technology.
Our lesson today is Module 1, Reading Part 2, Students Book page 10 and 11. Objectives of our lesson today is to locate specific information after scanning the text, distinguish between some confusing words. Let's recall the words we learned yesterday. Environmental issue. Pollution is the most serious environmental issue. Gadget. Manufacturer. Produce. Globally. Century. Huge amount. Here is the passage which we read yesterday. Now, here is an important tip. Don't rely on your general knowledge to answer questions. Check your answers with the information given in the text. Now let's read. Now scan the text. Scan the text. This means you have to read it carefully and write T for true, F for false, or NM for not mentioned. Number 1, electric cars are perfect for long journeys. Number 2, the US produces more electric cars than any other country. Number 3, Real Madrid is the richest football team in the world. Football players didn't make much money in the 1800s. Clark and Brown flew across the Atlantic without stopping. You have to read carefully again and then answer the questions. The first question, electric cars are perfect for long journeys. Let's go back to the text. Here is the text. Let's see where is the word electric cars. Look, in the past not many people bought electric cars. But now, because of environmental issues, they are becoming more and more popular. However, long journeys are difficult because you have to charge these cars regularly. So, look at this sentence. Long journeys are difficult because you have to charge these cars regularly. So, do you think electric cars are perfect for long journeys? No. They are not perfect for long journeys because the cars have to be charged, okay? Let's see. The next question, number 2. The US produces more electric cars than any other country. Let's go back to the text and see. The US, we are going to look for the US produces Here nowadays, US car manufacturers produce over 85,000 electric cars every year. So it's not mentioned here that the US produces more electric car than any other country. So the first one is false. Number two, not mentioned, NM. Number three, Real Madrid is the richest football team in the world. Let's go back to the text and see. We're going to look for the word Real Madrid. Here, Real Madrid spent 93.9 million euros on Cristiano Ronaldo, and in 2017 he made more than 50 million euros. So also here it's not mentioned that Real Madrid is the richest football team in the world. So here NM also. So here false, not mentioned, and not mentioned. Number four, football players didn't make much money in the 1800s. So let's go back to the text. Let's read again. Okay. Football players didn't make much money in the 1800s. Let's go back to the text. Let's look for here. In 2017, Cristiano Ronaldo made more than 50 million euros. This is a huge amount compared to what players got in the late 1800s. About they got 3.5 euros per week. So it's true. It's true. Here football players didn't make much money in 1800s. So number four is true. Let's see number five. Clark and Brown flew across the Atlantic without stopping. Let's go to the text. Let's go back to the text again to find out. But read it. They flew across the Atlantic without stopping. Let's see. Let's go back to the text. Let's look for the names of Brown and here. John Clark and Arthur Brown made the first non-stop flight. They made the first non-stop flight across the Atlantic. So it's true. Again, let's see here. The first non-stop flight. They made the first non-stop flight across the Atlantic. So let's go forward to the questions. Brown and Agluck flew across the Atlantic without stopping. Yes, that's true. Number five is true. Let's turn to question number 6. The first people to fly across the Atlantic were Americans. Again, the first people to fly across the Atlantic were Americans. Okay, let's go back to the text and check if it's mentioned, if it's right or not. Nowadays, traveling by planes is easy, comfortable, safe, and fast. Flight from London to New York City takes about 7 hours. At the beginning of the 20th century, in 1919, John Clark Arthur made first non-stop flight across the Atlantic. It took them about 16 and a half hours. So it's not mentioned. Let's go forward to the questions. So number 6 is an M, it's not mentioned. Now let's read question number 7. Before 1983, here you can read this 1983 or 1983. Before 1983 you couldn't buy a mobile phone. Before 1983 you couldn't buy a mobile phone. Let's go back to the text and check. Let's go back and see. Here, look, the first mobile phone was available in shops in 1983, so it's true. Okay, let's go forward to the questions. So number 7 here is true. Let's see number 8. Mobile phones were very expensive when they were first available. Again, mobile phones were very expensive when they were first available. Let's go back to the text and check. Here, the first mobile phone was available in shops in 1983. It was huge. It weighed 1 kilogram. You couldn't talk for long, and it cost the incredible amount of $3,995. It was a very expensive, incredible amount. Okay, because in 1983 it's 3,995. It was a very big amount of money. Okay, so number 8 is true also. Let's turn to question 9. The first computer game was made in the USA. Again, the first computer game was made in the USA. Let's see. Let's go back to the text and check. Most people do it nowadays, and we wanted to look for the computer games. Most people available, wait, incredible cost was computer games. Here, look, the first time people ever got the chance to try playing computer game was in 1940 in New York. Okay, tens of thousands of people played this simple game, only to have the computer win 90% of the time. Fortunately, today players have much better chance of winning. So it's not mentioned. It's not mentioned. The first computer game was made in the USA. It's not mentioned at all. Okay, here. Number 10, players usually lost when they played the first computer game. Again, players usually lost when they played the first computer game. Let's go back to the text and check. Fortunately, today players have much better chance to here, look, tens of thousands of people play this simple game only to have the computer win 90% of the time. So it's correct, yeah? So number 10 is true. So the answers will be number 1, false. Number 2, not mentioned. Number 3, not mentioned, NM. Number 4, true. And number 5, true. Number 6, not mentioned. Number 7, true. Number 8, true. Number 9, not mentioned. And number 10 is true. Now let's go to the second part of our lesson today, which is to look here in our objectives. Look at the objectives here. Distinguish between some confusing words. We want to distinguish between some confusing words. So what are these words? Complete the sentences with the words in the boxes. Popular and famous. Let's see what are the confusing words. Popular, famous, usual, common, normal. Imagine, wonder, think, pay, and spend. Again, popular, famous. Popular means liked or enjoyed by many people. Famous, known about by many people. Usual, that happens or is done most of the time or in most cases. Common, not unusual, happening often and to many people. Normal, typical, and usual. Imagine to form a picture in your mind of what something might be like. Wonder to think about something and to try to decide what will happen. Think, believe, pay for something, to give money for goods, services you have bought. Spend on, pay for, spend on to give money, to pay for goods or services. So spend on, pay for. Now let's read them again. Popular, liked or enjoyed by many people. Famous, known about by many people. Usual, that happens or is done most of the time or in most cases. Common, not unusual, happening often and to many people. Normal, typical, or usual. Imagine to form a picture in your mind of what something might be like. Wonder, to think about something and to try to decide what will happen. Think, believe, pay for, spend on. Complete the sentences with the words in the boxes. Popular and famous. Let's read the first sentence. Social media websites are very with young people. So, what will it be? Is it popular or famous? Yes, perfect. Okay, try to think. Okay. Number 2, Ahmed is a talented football player. But he isn't very. Yeah. Okay, try to think and answer it. Then, okay. Let's see the answer. Social media websites are very popular with young people. Number 2, Ahmed is a talented football player, but he isn't very famous. Now, let's read these words. Common, usual, and normal. Again, common, usual, and normal. Number 3, John and Ethan sat at their table next to the window. Number 4, it is for people traveling by plane to play games on their tablets. Number 5, after a long holiday, it's difficult to get back to life. Now please pause the video, try to answer the questions and then come back to check your answers. Let's see here. John and Ethan sat at their usual table next to the window. It is common for people traveling by plane to play games on their tablet. Number 5, after a long holiday, it's difficult to get back to normal life. Think, imagine, and wonder. Again, think, imagine, and wonder. I can't. My son driving a car. Number 7, what Sandra is making for dinner. Number 8, do you? I should visit my aunt in the hospital. Okay, please pause the video, try to answer the questions, and then come back to check your answers. Number 6, I can't imagine my son driving a car. Number 7, I wonder what Sandra is making for dinner. Number 8, do you think I should visit my aunt in the hospital? It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, my lovely students, and see you tomorrow, inshallah.